Men and women both have psychological defenses. For example, a man might have a lot of money, and because of that, he has a psychological defenses against people who want him for his money. So if somebody approaches that guy, he'll say, "Do they want me for my money, or do they want me for me?" You have a woman who's extremely beautiful, but because of her beauty, she develops psychological defenses around that beauty, where a guy will talk to her and she'll ask herself, does he want me for my does he want me for my looks or for who I really am? And so this woman creates psychological defenses around that. And the thing is that those defenses become very difficult to break down. And when we encounter those defenses, we get defensive. Where if I'm talking to a beautiful woman and she's like, "Oh, look at another guy wanting to talk to me because I'm beautiful," it causes me to get defensive, which causes her to become more defensive. And so you have to understand that most people have walls, and those walls need to come down, right? Those defenses need to come down. Those are inner walls. The more insecure, the beauty about this is that the more insecure somebody is, the more this is going to work on them, right? Now, the issue here is not that they have walls, because everybody has psychological walls based on their own insecurities. If I make a lot of money, I'm going to assume every woman's going to want me for my money. And so her job is to break down those walls in order to get me to feel comfortable and give her money, right? For a woman who feels like most guys just want her for her looks, she won't sleep with a guy if she feels like the guy just wants to have sex. So she develops psychological walls around that, and the only way for the guy to get the pum pum is to break those walls down. And like I said, most likely most people don't learn this because it feels manipulative, it feels dark, and also you feel guilty. You're like, why do I have to play these games? Why can't people just be honest? That's not how the world works, right? So the issue here also is when you encounter these walls, you get defensive, right? You get really defensive. And so we try to guilt them. We try to manipulate them to bring it down. Some people might try to get them drinks to get drunk. Some people might play some dark, evil strategies to get them to get those psychological walls down. And this becomes a problem, right? So then people try flattery, but it's too obvious. They try gifts, but you look way too obvious. And we don't know how to get around those walls because those walls are meant to stay up. Those walls are meant to protect them from people who are leeches, from people who are trying to take advantage of them. But there is a way to break down those walls. There are moments when the most defensive person, their walls come down. And when the walls come down, something amazing happens. They give you what you wanted times 10. They give you what you wanted times 10. And you know what's crazy? It's not hard. It's not hard to do. You just have to be motivated to do it. And that's the point of this video. Now look, let's talk about the few times those psychological walls come down, and let's see what happens when those walls come down. For example, drug-induced, where a person drinks a lot and all of a sudden his inhibition goes down, where they'll say the things that they have in their minds. They'll sleep with the person, right? Like I know there are laws against that, you know what I'm saying? But you get what I'm saying, that when those walls come down, you permit yourself to think of new things and act in ways that you usually wouldn't react. Now, of course, you might wake up the next day and regret it, but that's the point. Drug-induced, some drugs causes those walls to come down. You can see how people release their personality, even their dark side, when those walls come down. The next time is when people fall in love, where they start acting like children, they regress back to their childlike state, and they lose their capacity to have willpower over this person. And so they lose control, right? And when that happens, they become really vulnerable. They start to feel emotions they wouldn't have felt otherwise. And they become really receptive. Another time when these walls come down is when you get socially accepted. And usually it's in a cult, right? Cults bring down those walls. And how does that happen? Through social validation, right? And when that happens, people can start giving you money, right? That's what cult members do. Or they start giving you the pum pum. Well, it depends what you are, right? So once a person feels accepted by the group, all of a sudden their walls come down and they become influence. And this is what it is. It's all about stroking a person's ego, right? Drugs causes their ego to lessen. Falling in love strokes a person's egos, right? So you can easily see how this has a lot of power, Because when you're able to stroke a person's ego the right way, they give you everything. And they don't even know that they might be getting manipulated by you, right? So let's talk about this, right? So how do you create it, right? So there are a few ways to do this. The first one is confirm. Now, look, the first one that I didn't include in the video is telling people what they want to hear. Everyone has hopes and dreams. And whenever you represent a hope in fulfilling a certain fantasy of a type of relationship or a certain type of lifestyle, people with their defenses will go down. Why? Because you're promising them something, either directly or indirectly. It's just like a child. The way you get a child's willpower is to promise them a surprise. If you insinuate that you're able to provide what they're seeking, they'll give in. You're stroking their ego. They're going to start to fantasize. Their creepy insecurities will start to fantasize having a future with you, right? They'll start to fantasize all of the great moments that you will have. But all of that is really ego stroking. Say, yeah, I want the same thing that you want. And this is where a lot of us get heartbroken because we become prisoners of hope, right? And this is honestly the most evil one, I'll be honest. This is the most evil one. I don't like this. I've had this done to me. This is where love bombing works, right? This is where the deeper a person is insecure, the more the future projection works. But the problem is that it might create anger. They'll know you eventually lied, and they'll want to get revenge. But the point is that stroking a person's ego is finding out what are their dreams and hopes, and then telling them that you're able to fulfill them, either directly or indirectly. And that's how politicians sort of are able to manipulate, where they pick a group and they find out what are their pain points, their traumas, and their hopes, and all he does is acknowledge their pain and say how they're going to bring their future into fruition, and people will buy it. People, like it's that easy, right? And what you have to understand is that everyone wants different things. So meaning, just because what you said worked on somebody else doesn't work on this person. And just because what you want this, that doesn't mean that they're going to also want it. So that's really where you have to develop that fine-tunement to be able to feel and see what people want. But I'm telling you, this is how people keep picking the same political party and get nothing. Because people are not looking for results. People are looking for you to tell them what they want to hear. Stroke that ego, stroke that ear ego. And I'm telling you, they'll give in to you. It's just sad and pathetic how much this works. Because this even worked on me. You know, so that's one thing. I wanted to include that. Your self-opinion. I think we talked about this in Robert Greene Book Club on Patreon. I think it's chapter 8, How to Be an Object of Influence. So go check that out or become a Patreon supporter to get more in-depth video about this. So confirming a self-opinion. Everyone has a self-opinion created by their traumas, past experiences, and their life. And the thing about this self-opinion is that it can either be positive or negative, and that's really important. Because even if it's negative, you have to confirm their self-opinion. And that's why you got to be careful with getting with people who have low self-esteem. Because some people who have low self-esteem, you can't be good to them. You can't. If you treat someone who's used to being treated like a dog, like a princess, they're going to take advantage of you and they're going to find somebody else. They're going to find you bored because you're not toxic enough. So that means that they think they're a piece of shit, and you tell them how amazing they are, they're gonna leave you. They're gonna leave you. It's the girl who says, oh, he's too nice. I'd rather go with the asshole that cheats on me. Why? Because he confirms her self-opinion. I'm not worthy to be loved. I'm not worthy to be loved, to be appreciated, to be called good things. I'm not worthy to have good things. And so their inner saboteur comes out and pushes you away. So with these people, you gotta be careful. Because this means you got to be that darkness to them. And if you got to be that darkness to them, you might change in ways that might not be worth getting. So you got to be careful with people who have negative, low self-opinion. There's a way to change it, right? Where you could accept the fact to say, yeah, man, life. If they say I'm so depressed, you say, yeah, man. You confirm it. Yeah, man, life is so depressing, man. Yeah, man, fuck. It could be so hard. And you let them feel like you see the world from their point of view. And then you slowly nudge their way to say, yeah, man, I mean, life sucks. I mean, look at you, man. You don't do nothing. Like, that makes total sense. Like, you stay at home all day. Of course you don't have a girlfriend. That makes total sense. You're like, yeah, man. But you know what? I bet you when if you work out, you see some different results, right? You influence them, you stroke their negative ego. You say, yeah, you're right, it sucks, of course, look at you, you barely go out, oh, of course. And then you just say, well, you know what would happen if you worked out? It might be different. That's like a quick way of changing that in a positive. But when it comes to relationships, this is not it. Because some people, self-opinion comes from abandonment. And sometimes you just cannot change them with some people. And when you encounter this, it's best that you find somebody else. But in a positive way, it could be that maybe they think themselves as a great artist. For example, LeBron James, he sees himself as the GOAT. And he only surrounds himself with people who think that he's the GOAT. So in order, it's not hard to get in LeBron's good graces. All you got to do is stroke his self-opinion, right? If you find out that they see themselves as really smart, you stroke the fact that they're really smart. As really athletic, for example, I play basketball, and amongst us, I'll say I think in terms of basketball, I have a high IQ in basketball. I mean, I look, man, if you don't believe that, that's fine, but I think I have a high IQ in basketball. And a compliment would be, if you watch me, is like, yo, Alexis, like, you're pretty smart. You play pretty smart. And then that does stroke my ego. You see? You know what's crazy? One time, I played basketball at this YMCA, and I do a lot of no-look passes, right? Where I'm looking over here, and I pass it. But I do legit no-looks, meaning that if I'm looking here, I have such good peripheral vision that I can see somebody moving and pass it without even looking. You know, the people who play basketball caught up. And one time, I was looking that way, and somebody was open there, and you know what they said? He's gonna pass it there. I was like, yo, that has to be some of the most flattering things I've ever heard in my life. The fact that they were able to predict the fact that I was gonna no look it over here because that guy's open, I was like, okay, that's flattery right there. But that's like unintentional flattery. Right? So that's one thing. Now we're gonna go to a quick little commercial break. Are you needy and creepy? Do you have a tough time coming across confident when you like the person? A lot of the times you just don't know what to do. You have habits and patterns that whenever somebody triggers you, you completely forget what to do the right thing. Well, guess what? I have a course for that. And it's called The Psychological Game of Attraction, Natural Chemistry, and The Feminine Woman, what I call the fundamentals. All of those courses are meant to eradicate and exercise the needy, creepy parts in you through action. Meaning, you do what the videos say, and without a shadow of a doubt, you actually get the results. You'll notice that men call you back more. Men will want more relationships with you. They're gonna be the ones that are needy and creepy. They're gonna be the ones that want something. They're gonna be the ones that are the aggressors in trying to get a relationship out of you. But the problem is that a lot of people just watch one or two videos and completely forget that there's actually a system. Don't just watch one or two videos. Get the system either by purchasing all of them and get a discount, or purchase them individually. Because a lot of the times, just watching one video in isolation, you actually miss the big picture. You have to understand why it works. You have to understand what to do next. And a lot of times, my videos just can't address that. A lot of people, you see by the testimonies right here, a lot of people have done what those videos say, and they've gotten results. Like the other day, I was in Mexico, and they were like, "Hey, Alexis," and I'm like, "Hey, oh my God, your videos are so great." And I'm like, and she was like, "Look at my kid." I'm like, what you talk about your kid? That's not my kid. She's like, no, because of him, because of your videos, he's here. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's a thing. But I get that a lot. And ironically, that woman watches all of my videos, right? So purchase those courses, man. And if you don't like it, you actually could get a 30-day money-back guarantee, right? Purchase them individually, or get a discount and purchase them all by clicking on the description down below. You have the option of purchasing the one with the bonuses that obviously it's more material, where it's like I give you guys meditations. There's also other courses on how to make friends, how to master anything, or you could purchase it without the bundle, which is much more affordable. All right. And with that, you guys are able to support my channel, which will allow me to make more videos. Okay. Anyways, see you guys inside, and thank you. It's really about confirming a person's self-opinion. Sometimes people's self-opinion is not based on facts. It's based on what they say to themselves. For example, I used to be a very nervous person, but I used to tell myself I was a very chilled person. Honestly, that wasn't true. When I really look back, it was really my ego, what I wanted to believe in myself. But the fact was the fact that I was a nervous person, right? And so if somebody said, Alexis, you're a nervous person, I would have gotten offended and I wouldn't have talked to you. But if somebody says, man, Alexis, you're so chilled, let me tell you something. Most people can see our delusion. And that's the thing. You might think you're lying to them, but they don't see that. So you might say, oh man, you're so calm. And that inflates my ego, right? That makes me feel good. Oh, yeah, of course, I'm a chilled out person. Of course I meditate, but I need weed all the time. And I'm always tapping my finger and I speak fast and I get very sensitive if somebody rejects me, but I don't add that to my personality. I'm a chilled out person, right? And what it does, it blinds people. Just that's exactly what happened with let me give you guys an example. It's almost like I'm trying to think of an example of stroking a man's. Oh, Jeffrey from Game of Thrones, where he was with Marjorie, and she, first of all, he was about to kill her, right? But his insecurity was the fact that he wasn't man enough. And he got her to his room, and he was showing her a bow, and I think he was gonna shoot her. I don't know. And she was like, "Oh my God!" And she understood that he didn't feel like a man, but his self-opinion was the fact that he was a strong king, right? His insecurity, but the truth was, deep down, he knew he wasn't man enough. But but to his ego, his ego thought he was a strong, masculine guy, but in reality, he wasn't. So what she did, she was like, "Oh my God, I need to stroke his ego, or else I'm dead." And then she was like, oh, can you show me how to shoot it? He was like, okay. And then when he was showing her how to shoot it, he literally went from lack of confidence to, like, all right, now you got to grab the lever and you got to point it at the hoe and then you shoot and kill her. Like, he changed his demeanor. And she was like, oh my king, you're so strong. You should take me out hunting. And because she knew he loved killing people, and she was like, I would love to see you kill someone. And he was like, would you want to shoot them? She was like, of course, yeah, I would, especially with you. It's because the way you do it is so unique. He was like, oh. And but I bet Marjorie, she was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? This guy really wants me to shoot and kill a woman with him? But that's because he's a psychopath. And the key is to normalize his behavior, make him think that he's the best, he's the most masculine guy. Of course, there's no other guy stronger, more masculine, more smarter. To any man, it's obvious that he's stupid and insecure. But not to them, then that's the point. You gotta find what that is for them, right? That's self-opinion. For example, me, it could be that I'm a good artist, but I'm not recognized as an artist, right? I do sell my art, but I don't sell it like the top artist in the world, right? That could be an insecurity, where if you stroke Father Alex's insecurity, Father Alex could give you a free course from that. Now, actually, actually works is when people message me and they talk to me and they tell me how much the videos help. Sometimes they flatter me so much that I give them a free course. She said, oh my God, your videos have transformed me. And they give me evidence. She said, look, Father Alex, I did this. And it confirms what I teach so much that I'm compelled to give people free courses. You know what I'm saying? So it works with everyone. You just got to find out what that is. For example, with Robert Greene, I remember I talked to him, and I think one comment that got to him that I really, I don't say that just to compliment Robert, but I just say that because you guys know me, I'm being honest. I said to him, I really do think that when you die, 500 years from now, people are going to look back at your books in the same light as the Prince, in the same light as The Art of War, and I really do believe that. But I imagine to a man like him, I imagine that was so fucking flattering because it put him in the same realm of those guys. And I can promise you that Robert, as polite as he might seem, he has an ego. I promise you, he thinks he's one of the greatest writers who have ever walked the earth. There's no doubt he thinks that, but he can't show that. Compliment that part of him, make him feel like a genius, and you'll have him in his lap. I don't have him in my lap. You guys know that, right? I just say that because I really like them. And I think those are the ones I hate the most. The next one, be cold to everyone but them. This is where you have a cold personality with everyone but them. You flatter their ego. Where it's like that girl who hates, who got rejected by everyone, but not me. That's why women who like everyone, who try to get everyone's validation, a lot of times guys don't like them or talk shit about them because she can't stroke a guy's ego. Because you fucked everyone. So clearly your fucking doesn't stroke my ego. I don't want that shit. You get what I'm trying to say, right? So that's why, that's why powerful people can be so attractive, because we can sense the emotional distance. We can sense that they're cold to everyone. And because of that, it makes, if we do manage to get them to like us, the fact that they're nice to us, just them being warm, it strokes our ego. And this is a message to all the nice people. This is why your niceness is not respected, because you have a reputation. You're nice to everyone. You're like a fucking golden retriever. If you want your niceness to be appreciated, surround your niceness around coldness, right? You gotta surround your niceness around coldness, like a pill, right? Imagine this being like a pill. You give them the cold, and then inside is the niceness, and that is taken better. You know, where in the outside world you put on an appearance of coldness, right, for professional purposes, and then once they get to know you, you give them the gift of who you truly are. That strokes, I swear to God, all the creepy motherfuckers, that strokes people's ego. That's the best way to be yourself. You just have to act. Because look, man, I know you want to be nice, but that creeps people out. That's when women say, oh, he's an asshole, but not to me. Right? Next one. Flatter their insecurity. You got to be able to dig deeper, right? If they're beautiful, delay the sex, right? So for example, if I'm with a model, every guy wants to sleep with the model. So with her, I'm not going to sleep with her. I'm not. That's why guys with little dick, guys with small dicks, one of the things that guys with small dicks do is that they delay the sex. Why? Because they know that if he tries to have sex with her and she sees that little dizzy, she's gonna get turned off. So they instinctively, actually, they know that delay it, make them like you, make them fall in love, and then show her your little dick. She'll accept it because she's not gonna be fucking your dick. She's gonna be. But that works, because before she saw the dick, she was like, "What's wrong with me? Every guy wants to sleep with me. Why isn't he trying to sleep with me? Fuck, he might be ugly." And she might think that. She's like, even more. Why isn't he trying to sleep with me? He gotta be gay. He gotta be gay. No, girl, I'm not gay. What the fuck? I may be losing it. And what it does is that, because most women who are really beautiful, they think that everyone just wants them for sex, right? So you're saying, no, I like you for more. I like your intelligence. Oh, let's talk more. And you flatter their intelligence. You flatter their point of view, their taste. And that flatters their insecurity. And what happens? She'll want to bang. Right? Now look, let's just say it's a powerful rich guy, right? A powerful rich guy. And let's just say he buys you something. He buys you, he says, hey, let's go to this expensive restaurant. Every rich guy knows every woman wants his money. And so the smart woman would say, baby, no, man, that's too expensive. Let's go with something more affordable. Let's go for coffee first. That's a little bit too expensive. Show concern for the very thing that people want to take from them. Say no to the very thing that everyone wants from them. And I swear, you will flatter their ego. You will flatter their ego. They're gonna say, oh, this person likes me because of me. Oh, and because they're so used to giving money, they'll give you. If he says, hey, baby, he's an example. Another example is he lives in Boston, and let's just say a woman is trying to fly me out, and she's rich, right? I live in Philly, and she lives in Boston. Okay, baby, let me get you a flight. I'm like, no, baby, that's too expensive. Just buy me a bus ticket. Just give me a bus ticket. It's too expensive. I'm not gonna accept it. I don't know you yet. I don't want to take advantage of you. They're like, the fuck? Like, I can't. In their minds, they're like, oh shit, I can't use my money to change how they feel. And then you're like, yeah, man, you know, I like it for you, man. Like, I don't want any of the money, man. In fact, don't spend it on me. I like you for you. You're really fun. People, let me tell you, people might hear, gold diggers might hear this and their heads might be turning, but you got to view it from their point of view. Yeah, that's what everyone wants. Why don't you want this material thing that everyone wants? Oh, so why are you here? Because of me? It flatters though. It digs so deep at a primal level. And I think that women who have a lot of, who are extremely beautiful, rarely does a guy ever wait unless he has another woman, unless he's gay, which is usually the guys that women like the most. Come on, people. Come on. It's because what people don't understand is that they're flattering, they're validating them, they're stroking their ego, but not their money ego, but ego where people don't pay attention. So for example, let's just say if you want a compliment, another one is so another way to flatter them is compliment, right? But not just a compliment. So me, I'm a YouTuber. Oh my God, Alexa, you helped me so much. You're so amazing. That does flatter me. Another one. Let's find another one. Basketball. Actually, that's one thing that people. I think I've sucked at basketball more than anything else. Everyone compliments me on this and that. But rather than that, you be like, baby, can you record some videos of you playing basketball? We'd love to watch you play basketball. For real? Yeah, man. And mind you, you're doing that because you know I'm an artist. I'm a good artist. People say I'm good, and that I'm a YouTuber, and people say that I'm a good YouTuber. Okay, so now you identify that I play basketball, but you notice nobody ever compliments me on that. Oh my God, Father Alex is snapping. And so she'll say, oh, record it. Okay, I'll record it and let's watch it together. Because I like to watch my own basketball videos. And then she sits down, oh, let's watch it. Oh, man. And so we sit down and watch a whole pickup game with me. Let me tell you something, man. I will be flattered. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be flattered, man. We're going to dinner after this. It's just how that works. It just takes thinking. And some of you people, some of you motherfuckers are too about me. What do I want? Oh, she is hot. She got some big old titties. I want them titties. Oh man, that person got. Oh, she got money. Oh, she got a lot of money, man. I want her to fly me out. All about me. What a day lacking. Oh man, everyone says she got a lot of money, but what does she lack? She doesn't have a lot of connections. Everyone around her is scared. Nobody wants to get fired. Oh wait, she's a writer? I didn't know she was a writer. Oh, interesting. Oh shit, it's on Amazon? Let me buy this book. And so you do research, man. You do research. Everyone has that spot. You just got to find it. And if you actually love that person, you will find it. That's the key. It's not hard. Everyone leaves clues. I leave clues. Right? And that's how you stroke their ego to lower their defenses. You stroke their ego. Trying to see if there's anything else left, man. I think that's it. Yep. Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think about this. Subscribe to my email list. I'm gonna start an email. By tomorrow, I'm gonna send my first email. But subscribe, because if you do subscribe by going to mindfulattraction.org, you get a free ebook and an audiobook. The book is called The Chase. So you guys can click on the description down below and purchase that audiobook, and not purchase it, get it for free. And that means you're gonna subscribe to me sending you emails. And I think those emails are gonna be worthwhile. And by the way, I wanna make a challenge. I don't know what type of challenge to make for you guys. Maybe like a 30-day meditation challenge. I'll find out. But thank you so much for listening, man. And you guys have a great day.